about the government being accused of misleading the public after they claimed victory in clearing the asylum backlog when tens of thousands of Channel migrants are still living in hotels at your and my expense. I've been talking about that all morning. Joining me right now is former MEP and Reform UK spokesman Rupert Lowe. A good afternoon to you, Rupert.
Afternoon, Julia. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. Happy new stats from the government. It's fascinating. I mean, it took, I would say roughly 20 seconds for people to start questioning some of the stats that the government put out today, saying, oh, we tackled this legacy backlog of all these people who arrived before June 2022. Some people are saying, oh, it's been misleading. Labour have come out clearly saying it's just false. They just haven't tackled everybody. There's still hundreds of thousands left. Who do you believe?
Julia, let me firstly say that any reduction in illegal migration is to be applauded. But you have to remember we're in an election year now. The Tories have wasted an 80-seat majority and achieved precisely the square root of nothing. And as you quite rightly say, when we get to that kind of situation, you have to beware of lies, damn lies, and statistics. And having worked in the city, I've watched actuaries do some fantastic things with statistics. They can't be trusted, as I think we saw when Simon Ridley admitted to Lee Anderson that 17,316 asylum seekers had gone missing, and he didn't know where they were, having removed themselves from the list of asylum seekers.
Exactly. They count as a victory, don't, because they're not in the numbers anymore. But the trouble is, we don't know where they are. They're probably working at the street.
Julia, it's a national scandal. He admitted he didn't know where they were. So I think you're going to see a bit like Tony Blair massage the waiting lists by having a waiting list to go on a waiting list. I don't trust the PSBR figures. I trust very little of what the government now puts out. So I think, as I say, applaud any reduction. Illegal migration should be zero. And obviously, we've now got a problem with legal migration where the government is approving large numbers of mainly young men who are finding their way into the country. And at the end of the day, we don't know where they come from. We don't know what culture they want to partake in. And they certainly, haven't been screened properly. I'm in favour of targeted immigration when people actually make a contribution to the economy.
But that should be the number one priority. But can I just say, you started off by saying any reduction is to be applauded. But the point is, a reduction in the number of people waiting to be assessed isn't necessarily the same as a reduction in the number of people who are still in the country. Because I think we've only removed about 20,000. I mean, the only reason they've managed to assess a load more is some absolute bloody genius at the Home Office thought it would be a good idea to hire some people who weren't sitting in their gym jams all day, assessing one case a week, which is what the stats have been for the Home Office assessors, to actually sit and do some actual assessments of asylum claimants. They assess them and they say, you can stay, you can go, but the people are still here. They're not actually left. They're still living in this country.
They're still filling our hotels in the West Midlands and other parts of the country, Julia, damaging the fabric of our country, costing the taxpayer a fortune. And at the end of the day, as I say, as an island nation now with our own sovereign parliament, we should be able to deal with this. The Aussies have shown us how to do it, but clearly the government and the sort of whole of the Westminster elite don't have the will to address this issue.
Well, that's the key. Can I just stop you there? This is the key thing. We've been talking about this on the show all morning. And I can't believe, my first show back after the New Year. What are we talking about again? Oh, Channel migrants. And it's going to be a big issue all year in an election year. Big discussion. Tom Slater and we're going to come back to you in a moment. And a lot of our callers are making. By the way, there's been a lot of love for you guys at Reform UK from them as well. People are so exasperated with the Tories. But why do they not? You say, there's no will. I mean, if dealing with the Channel migrant crisis is the difference between getting elected again and staying in government or not, you'd think there would be a will. What is stopping anyone in government who says they think this is a problem and they say they want to deal with it? What's stopping them dealing with it?
Well, there's nothing stopping them dealing with it now, Julia, because we've left the European Union.
No. What is stopping them being motivated to deal with it?
There's nothing to stop them being motivated, but I think, if you look at a lot of this research we've been doing on the FOIs, on diversity and inclusion officers, on, that the whole country has lost the plot. And the civil service has been deeply infected with this sort of wokeism, which ultimately flies in the face of common sense. And I'm just hoping that there are enough sensible Britons in Middle England who have got some common sense. And as you quite rightly say just now, there's only one vote for them this time, and that's reform. We need some real people delivering real policies to actually re-energise Britain and make it what it can be, which is the most successful democracy in the world.
Okay, can I just say, wait a minute, let's just say, I'm not supporting any specific political party, I need to make that clear, but let's just say by some fluke, because we have seen some amazing general election shocks results, let's just say Reform UK got an 80 majority in the next general election. There was a shock for you had Boris-style victory. How would you deal with this issue? What would you do differently?
Well, I'm the business and agriculture spokesman, and we've actually drafted a document. It should be condensed into a simple, understandable policy document by the end of January. So we'll be able to discuss those policies. But they will be policies designed to further the interests of Britain. And not policies designed to sort of help a globalist world, which ultimately is destroying a lot of things that are decent and good. So we will have it. It's not out yet. Clearly, the election, I think, will be in October. Some of my colleagues think it'll be in May. I personally think the economy is in danger of rolling over very badly. And I think the Tories, if they're not careful, are going to end up scoring an own goal. Okay. But that's going to be their final decision before they get voted out of power.
Right, well, we shall see. Rupert, I have to leave it there. Rupert Lowe, former MEP and now Reform UK spokesman, thank you so much for joining us. Just really, really, really brief word to Tom said. I mean, it is all to play for the next general election. We've seen these polls. We've seen, back in 2019, things, a massive big turnaround. Do you think that we could actually see some sort of shock results?
I think it's probably too late for that. I think Rishi Sunak or any Tory leader could have done that if they wanted to, but that would require them to do things which were completely not in their nature, which is to actually do what they pledged to do, to be bold and to have a bit of vision, which is not, there's not a lot of it in the Tory party.
No.